So this will be a summary of the public report of public speaking test, anxiety test that I took. And I actually scored pretty average. It came out to 114. Let me check. It came out to about a 114, which means I'm in the moderate average area. Not too bad, not too anxious, kind of. I've noticed that during the questions that I scored really high on the anxiety level test. For example, like I get really nervous at just the thought of a speech or getting up on stage. I feel my hands shaking. I begin to sweat like for my hands a lot. And so I have a summary that I wrote from the assignment, and I kind of summarize that when the time comes, I'm confronted with a public speaking or a meeting, I cannot help but feel overwhelmed with anxiety. And then this usually happens that whenever I start to talk, I begin to just kind of like mix everything around and all my ideas just come into my mind and I just forget everything, like I go blank. And literally like I will start saying a bunch of nonsense, and once I catch myself saying a bunch of things that just don't make sense, I get even more nervous, just thinking about the audience reaction, thinking, okay, well, this girl is not well prepared, or she didn't practice, or something like that. In reality, I might know all my stuff, but just the anxiety just takes over so great, and it just makes me forget all the information. This is very common whenever I present in front of people, especially people I don't know. I'm very it's very easy for me to talk to strangers. I work in an environment where I need to be speaking constantly with strangers, and it's so simple for me. But standing up in front of an audience and have them staring at me, expecting me to know exactly what I'm going to say next, just makes me really nervous. So then I believe that some of the answers I poorly chose the levels for the anxiety test, but I feel like I should have been much higher with a higher level of anxiety. This also sends me to what is categorized as an anticipator, just the thought and the idea of a speech coming up or me having to walk up in front of people just makes me really nervous. So I do classify myself as a really anxious public speaker. I can control it with confidence and everything, but once everything gets really mixed up in my mind and all my information goes blank, that's whenever I start to panic. So I try to control that a little bit more with organizing myself, and kind of having an outline and having visuals helps me a lot, because I know what I'm going to talk about and I know what's next. It's not just blank information. So that's my summary of my anxiety report and the managing apprehension.